Hello YouTube, let's jump right into this tutorial for today. My client has old color and about 2 to 3 inches of growth, and we are going to exchange her and transform her into a flaming phoenix. I'm gonna mix up some lightener. My lightener of choice today is going to be Redken Flash Lift, and then my developer is also going to be Redken 20 volume peroxide. I'm taking 2 scoops of the lightener into my bowl, and then I'm gonna mix it up with the developer to get a very clean and smooth consistency so I can apply to the client's base. I'm trying to make her pretty light up to about a level 10, and also remove the color, that the old faded color that she has in her hair, so that I can get a very good canvas to apply this new color that I have in mind. So I'm measuring up about 4 ounces of the developer and then mixing it, adding it to the lightener, and I'm gonna mix it. I'm gonna use a whisk to kind of like mix it up so I can get a very smooth consistency. So I can apply. I don't need any granules in there, any leftover hard pieces of lightener in there. I need it to be as smooth as possible so I can have a very nice application. I'm going to section off her hair into 4 of the standard 4 quadrants that I usually do. Section her off, and then I'm going to apply the lightener to her base. So I'm pretty much applying it to her base, making sure that it doesn't necessarily go into her old color. Her old color is already blonde. I'm not trying to compromise her hair by putting too much bleach on her hair. So I'm making sure that I'm applying just on the middle. I applied Chromacell Clear with 30 volume in Pravana, and everybody said this works. Rebecca Taylor and all the people that I follow say this works, but it didn't work for me. I mixed it up, as you can see. I'm mixing up the clear, Chromacell Clear and Permanent, and I mixed it up with 30 volume, and it didn't work. So what I did was, when I applied it to her ends, it didn't fade out as much. It still had a lot of the bluish green color in there. So what I ended up doing was to add Pravana cream lightener and zero lift developer, and it faded that out, the color out a little bit more, and that's what you can see underneath the plastic cap. So it has gone through two processes, and so I didn't want to use too much of a high developer when I was doing the second application of the cream lightener with zero lift. I figured the zero lift wasn't going to lift the hair, but then just remove the rest of the color that the Chromacell didn't take out. So I washed it out, and this is the end result.
So the color mixing has begun. I used silver to start off, and then I added some Vivids black to it to mute down the silver a little bit and make it the color a little bit darker. So I mixed the black and the silvers together, and I realized that I needed a little bit more silver, so I added some more silver and pretty much mixed it together. Now I'm using getting some magenta. I'm mixing red to the magenta to get that reddish pinkish color, and I mix those two together. I think the red was overtaking the pink at this point, so what I ended up doing was adding a little bit more magenta to it so I can get a little bit muted and more pinkish red than reddish pink. So I mix those colors together, and then the next color will be an orange, also in the Vivid line. That will be used separately, so I didn't mix it with anything else. And then the last color is yellow, which is also by itself and not mixed with anything else. So all the colors that I will be using to create this Flames Phoenix color is complete and all set to go with all my Firmar brushes ready to go. And let's make hair into flames.
I had already applied the mixture of silver and black to the base and all over the head. And then I'm starting off by following those colors up with the red and magenta mixture. See that I'm blurring it in so that every strand of hair will be covered up. Sometimes with these fashion colors or um, semi-permanent colors, if you don't brush it in too well or try and saturate it through the hair, you end up having some spotty patches. So I was trying to make sure that I can get the color as saturated as possible. I'm following it up with an orange. Some of the strands I'm going to put an orange, both the orange and the yellow on the ends. The orange followed by a yellow, or some of them I'm just going to be just orange. So I put it behind my back so I don't end up like mixing the color too much. But I'm trying to blend in the red and the orange so that I can get a nice transition and not let it look too choppy. So I saturated the second piece also, and I left the ends out because I plan to put the yellow on there. I'm also applying the dark, the mixture of the silver and the black to the base to make sure that it's completely saturated and I don't have any spots in between that did not have the base color. I'm making sure that I am using my hands to also saturate it so that it's completely covered. I'm following it back up with the mixture of red and magenta again, like I did with the other strains, making sure that I'm saturating and also using my hands to rub through and make sure that every single strand is saturated and I don't have any little black patches of blonde hair that's left behind. That's not going to be cute. I'm doing the same and I'm applying the orange, following up with the red and magenta mix, and applying that, and also making sure that I get that also completely that strand also completely saturated. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other piece. So I'm all the pieces that I'm going to be working on is just the mixture of the dark um, silver and black on the base, followed by the red and magenta mix. Then I'm going to follow it up with the orange. And some of the orange pieces, I'll follow up with the yellow, or some of the pieces, I'll just completely make it yellow. I was just trying to have some type of different colors in it and not make it all look the same, but then also still with that phoenix color vision in mind to make sure that it's as flaming as possible. So again, I'm going to the base and making sure that I can blend in the base color into the red so it doesn't look very blocky or patchy. So now the ends that I left out, I'm adding the yellow, the very yellow at the end. So it's going to be the dark silver and black mix, the red, the orange, and some pieces I added the yellow to it. So I'm applying the yellow piece to it at this point. So I did that with all the strands of the hair, all over the head. I did that this whole application, and then
I'm done with the whole application. So when you look at it, as the color is processing, it looks a little bit darker, but then I promise you it's going to come out a little bit brighter than it looks right now. You see the base is pretty dark, and I'm completely done with the application of the color.
Okay, now do it. Yeah, then turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. Ooh.
Yemi, Alade, to you, baby.
Yeah, you over sabi, sabi. Yeah, you over sabi. When I tell you, say now you they rock my world. I know they lie at all. When I tell you, say now you they rock my baby. I know they lie.